finally on the topic I've been waiting for. Black Panther! Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it just so happened to make news this week that the soundtrack, the official soundtrack listing, has been revealed. So, of course, we all know by now that Kendrick Lamar and Top Dog Entertainment have been called upon to curate and produce the soundtrack for songs that were made exclusively for the film and songs that were also inspired by the film. And he has a heavyweight list of artists who are going to be contributing to this soundtrack. So we have, of course, Kendrick Lamar himself. We have Vince Staples. We have Anderson .Paak. We have The Weeknd that we just heard right now. We have J-Rock. We have Future. We have a plethora of artists who are going to donate their talents into the making of this soundtrack. Jolie, we were talking about this earlier in the broadcast, actually, about product placement and how big businesses and big corporations are leaning towards hip-hop to sell their products and what have you. Do you see this as yet another example of that?
Well, I mean, aside from the whole cast being black.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It just definitely makes sense, the partnership is, between TD and the Black Panther film.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a perfect situation.
Yeah, me too.
Kendrick Lamar is definitely on that lane to make music for this type of movie, and especially with the theme that Black Panther is going for. I mean, a lot of people have kind of taken this civil rights kind of movement with the Black Panther film. So even if it's a comic movie, I don't know so much about the comic stuff.
It's okay. No judgment.
Is it Marvel or is it
It's Marvel. It's Marvel. It's Marvel.
So I'm kind of okay. I'm not.
You're saying it's a Marvel. So it's like yes, just not there. It's Marvel. Yes.
Okay, I got that.
You got it. No, you're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, from the track listing that I saw, it seems like it's going to be a solid track.
I think so, too. I think so. I mean, I always love it when a movie comes out with a soundtrack as well, depending on what soundtrack it is and, like, what movie it is, of course. I think my personal favorite soundtrack of all time to a movie was the Space Jam soundtrack. Like, that soundtrack, I don't know if you've ever listened to it before, but, like, it had banger after banger. Like, so many classic records were on that, man. It was a beautiful thing. I think that's what, like, I've always been into music, whatever, but, like, I think that was the first album I listened to, like, cognitively listened to from front to back. And I remember just having, like, my dad's, like, big headphones like that, for example, plugging it into the amp and just kind of jamming out for, like, an hour or so, like, every Saturday or something like that. Just sitting in front of the speaker, just, you know, I believe I can fly. You know what I mean? Like, I just had fun with it. But, yeah, like, going back to Black Panther, though, I think it's so instrumental that Kendrick Lamar, of all artists, was curating this. If it was somebody like, let's say, like Future, for example, I mean, like, I'd still somewhat look forward to it, but it's like Future, Black Panther, I don't know.
They don't really correlate. I mean, the brands, this is definitely more Kendrick Lamar's brand.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And especially when you consider the fact how, you know, how many Afrocentric related topics he's tackled on, especially when you listen to an album like To Pimp a Butterfly. Like, it just makes that much more sense for him to jump on this. I mean, I would love to have heard The Black of the Berry on this soundtrack. It would have made a lot of sense, right? But what I don't think a lot of people are talking about is the fact that both Ryan Coogler and Kendrick Lamar are both from the LA area, basically. So there's obviously a connection. They're both around the same age. They're both in their 30s. So they have that connection. They have their ears to the street all the time and what people are listening to and what have you. So it's definitely a match made in heaven. It makes total sense. And I had a feeling that Kendrick would have some sort of involvement with the soundtrack. I didn't know he'd be curating it. That was above and beyond my expectation. I'm like, oh, I wanted a cake. You gave me the double-decker cake. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Like, I'm good with this. So,
good look.
It's a very good look indeed. I love the caliber of artists that he has on there. There's different artists on there of different, you know, diasporas, what have you. Like, you have Kendrick, who's Black American. You have The Weeknd, who's Black Canadian, also of Eritrean descent as well. One artist I really wanted to see on here that I don't see on here that I'm just a little perturbed at, you know, is Jadena because of his Nigerian heritage, right? Yeah. So I feel like he would have offered something major to that. But I'm not mad. It's cool. I get. He may have been busy. Who knows? But either way, I'm happy with how things have turned out with the track listing, and I just feel like man, this movie's gonna do big numbers, man.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be solid.
It's gonna be huge.
And like anyone who, like, whether you're a comic book fan or not, you just want to see something different.
Exactly.
You just want to see proper representation. I'll get into a lot more of this in the final segment, but I definitely
that's why
feel
I'm watching it for just something different.
Right, something different, exactly, something refreshing. And who knows, for people who may not be into that whole comic book genre, you know, like you, for example, you just mentioned, that's fine. You just mentioned it. I'm just helping you out. It's cool. I'm not judging at all. If you're not, it's cool. Like, some people love romantic comedies. I hate romantic comedies. It's too cliche in my book.
I really like romantic comedies.
I don't either, man. It's just like, it just sets the wrong expectations. But that's just another conversation for another day. But again, for people who are not really into the genre of films, it may open their eyes to it, possibly, you know, to a certain extent, right? So you never know. It could be the gateway, the gatekeeper, so to speak. But nonetheless, I feel like it's huge that you have an ensemble of so many talented artists on the soundtrack, and I, for one, cannot wait for this.
I know.
I feel like every guest that I've had since, you know, this whole Black Panther, they're just like, okay, Dan, we get it, you're a fan. Listen, I love hip-hop, I love basketball, but I'm a nerd at heart. I love my comic book movies.
Nerd.
I love my martial arts movies. That's why I got Bruce Lee on my t-shirt right now. Like, anything I love, I will express my passion for unapologetically. That's just me. Like, I'm a passionate guy when it comes to, like, my passions, essentially. So can't wait for this film. Can't wait. But what do you guys think? You know, is this what you guys have been expecting as far as the track listing goes, as far as who is on this album? Who are you looking forward to hearing who's currently on this album as well? Share me your thoughts. Let me know. Hit me up in the comment section when we post this on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter at @cool_radio and share your thoughts.